Welcome, everybody.
Welcome back. And look at what I'm doing. Something different.
What are you doing?
I'm mowing.
Oh,
I'm,
liar.
I'm usually bailing. Now I'm mowing.
Oh, okay. I guess that is something different.
Uh, now, I will do different things at some point in this episode. Look at our money rolling in, though. Yes.
We're finally making the big bucks.
Yeah, finally. I'm just watching that number. We hire workers, and the number just looks like it goes up. It's amazing. It's,
I guess that's true. It does go up.
yeah. It sort of goes up if you ignore the negative side. The absolute value of the number goes up for sure. Yeah, it's kind of interesting because we're to the point because we bought so much equipment last time, and with our nightly maintenance costs and workers, we are now in the negative, and it still lets you hire workers. So I guess the only point of positive money is to buy new things.
I mean, it might give us a game over, right? Is it possible?
I guess it's possible. I do play that terroir wine game, and if you get enough in the negative, it just says game over and it ends.
Yeah, that's what happens in this airport sim game I was playing. It's like, and what was dumb about that was I wasn't gonna be in the negative very long. I just like did some stuff right before like the start of the next day, and then it was just like game over. I was like, oh, but I had lots of money coming in.
Yeah, like it was there. I was just waiting for my bookie.
My assets were liquid.
But I don't need to show you my tax returns because that would be the purpose of the game. Do you watch cooking shows still?
I don't watch anything anymore. Strangely enough, I haven't watched a thing on a television in a long time.
I mean, that's probably good because it's all garbage, but it's
like
there's a couple good things out there. Like I would highly suggest you watch Wrecked because that show it just impresses me more and more every episode that comes out.
Wrecked? What's it about?
Wrecked, it's like a spoof on Lost.
Oh, I think you told me about this actually.
Oh my god, it's a spoof on Lost and the fact that they're like stuck on this island and it was a plane crash and all these people survived and all. And they're trying to do certain things that show you that they're kind of poking fun at Lost, but it's not like we're just completely making fun of Lost and all the characters or anything. It's for sure its own show. It's just going off of that same premise in a comedy.
Uh-huh.
So it's just every day I watch it, it's funnier and funnier. Like the end of this last episode, and this isn't going to spoil anything, but something happens similar to the end of one of the seasons of Lost, and everybody's like, "Is this it? Is this the end?" Yes, this is definitely the end. It is definitely over. And then it closes, and Julie and I looked at each other. We're like, "Wait, is that the end of the season already?" And then it's like scenes from the next Wrecked. And, it shows it, but it was like completely like because this should theoretically be a way that these people are off of the island, quote unquote, and they're just completely making fun of some things that happen in Lost. But it is good. Did you ever watch Sirens?
Is that the show that had Dennis Leary in it?
No, so it was Dennis Leary was the one in Rescue Me.
Rescue Me, yes. I actually watched Rescue Me.
Rescue Me was really good, but it was more of a drama.
Yeah.
And it got really crazy after a while.
Yeah, I didn't continue it all the way through.
Yeah, I watched probably the first 3 seasons, and I think there was like 3 more that I didn't watch because it was getting a little weird, but I would still watch it again. So it's the same concept, but instead of being about the fire service, it's about an ambulance service. Okay. And Dennis Leary is one of the executive producers of it, but it's a comedy as well. It's not a drama. And that show was hilarious, especially from a guy in like the fire service, EMS service. But it was funny in general anyway. And it unfortunately only went for 2 seasons before it got canceled, which upsets me because I thought it was good. I don't think there's enough good comedies out there anymore.
Yeah. Like after I canceled my cable, and I wasn't one of those people that like cancel my cable like, oh, I can just live off of Netflix. A lot of people just, that's all they need.
Right.
But I mean, I may have watched some things from the internet. That like
pornography?
No, like Survivor. I mean, I didn't go to CBS.com to.
Oh no, I got you.
But which I still haven't actually watched Survivor. I just have it to watch at some point. But I mean, I guess the stuff I have watched recently was all Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix is pretty good. It's got decent stuff. We have a cross between Netflix and Hulu, but we also have like normal, satellite TV. So we have a plethora of shows that we record on DVR.
Right.
But I will say lately the choice has been much worse. We used to be really, and I started this talking about cooking shows. We used to be really into a lot of the cooking shows.
Me
But
too.
I'm getting kind of sick of them.
Well, they've become repetitive, right? Like I think that's what killed it for me is like it's all the same thing all the time.
Yeah. But what I was going to bring up about a cooking show in particular is, so MasterChef is the one with Gordon Ramsay and 2 other people, depending on the season, who those people are. And it really, granted, these shows are scripted to an extent, even though they might be real competitions and stuff, but there's certain camera editing that they do so that people look either stupid or amazing, in different situations and things like that.
Right.
But there was this guy in the last episode that they were really making the camera edit so that he was just like this piece of garbage who didn't listen to anybody and didn't care what anybody said type of deal. So you kind of knew from the beginning, like, okay, this guy is the guy that's gonna go home in the end of this. And I'll tell you, the challenge was cooking a hanger steak.
Okay.
And when it all got said and done, why can't I remember the button? There we go. God damn it. Oh, no, shit. Hold on. I'm screwing everything up here with this mower system. Oh, let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
Let it go.
No.
Let it go.
Why? Button, hit, change, drop. There we go. Oh god, that took forever. They get done cooking this hanger steak, and the hanger steak is in like it's like a bigger piece. It's not like a flat steak.
Uh-huh.
So they were getting on a lot of people for not cooking it thoroughly. It wasn't cooked all the way through. Like they'd be rare or raw in the middle still, and not finished. And this one guy who was acting all cocky about it and how he was going to cook it without a problem. And Ramsay kept saying, that these things are really tough pieces of meat to cook. They're really temperamental. You got to do it this way. And he's like, yeah, whatever. I know how to cook a steak. I'm going to be fine. They're really making like these cuts to make him look like just this big asshole. And they get done with it. And the chick host, I can't remember what her name is, but she gets up there and she's kind of like ripping into him about how terrible his steak was and how bad it was cooked and how undercooked it is. Whoa, it's not the gas all over the place. And she said at the end of it, she goes, it was undercooked and you didn't let it rest long enough. And she just turned around and walked away. And I'm like staring at the screen for a minute. He served her a steak that wasn't cut. He was the second to last person to get judged.
Right, that's what I've always wondered about these things. Like, how long does the food sit there? Of course it rested long enough, right?
Yeah. How the fuck can you tell this guy he didn't let it rest long enough when it's been there for a solid 15 minutes of watching other people get judged? You didn't let it rest long enough. And I'm just like, okay, there's got to be somebody at the producer level who looks at these shows and knows that a simple concept like resting, a lot of people who watch a cooking show are going to understand what that means.
Yeah.
How do you like let that slide on through there? Where is our baler at?
It's parked beside the barn.
It really made me mad because I was just like, not only am I getting sick of these shows already, but when you're trying to make somebody look like this, and you could tell from the cuts too. And I was even telling Julie when we were watching it, I'm like, he's obviously going home. Like, look at these edits. Like, you can tell how terrible these edits actually are, that they're making him, such a bad person that he's the one that's going to go home. By the way, this is like the 5th episode this season. I don't remember this guy at all. So
he's not been important at all.
He's either not been important or maybe did they just throw him in there randomly and hope nobody noticed so they could get rid of somebody?
Let's get this guy.
Because I'm definitely sure on a lot of these shows, there are people that are specifically planted in there that know they're going home at some point, and they're only there to either be assholes or cause turmoil of some type.
I refuse to believe that.
See, I
It would
think
ruin
it's
me.
I think it's just it's too much. It's too much. It's gotta be. It's gotta be.
I mean, it's highly possible what you're saying is true. It would ruin everything for me. I gotta believe that there is still some dignity in all of this.
But that's like saying there's dignity in Trump. I mean, it's.
I used to watch The Apprentice. You ever watch The Apprentice?
Yes. I watched like 1 or 2 seasons of Celebrity Apprentice, and I actually enjoyed it. I thought Donald Trump was funny in those shows, like not really comedic, like haha, he's such a comedian, but like I thought it was I liked it.
I mean, yeah, I've seen every single season of Apprentice, and I actually watched it, and I used to tell Crystal, I was like, man, this guy's such an idiot. Like, everyone knows he's an idiot, right? So it was funny whenever he was running for president, because I was like, I feel like I had like all this like knowledge beforehand from like watching all these seasons of Apprentice. Like, man, no one would vote for this. Anyone that's seen this guy knows he's an idiot. But
Yeah, I don't know. Just in those shows, though, especially a show that's been a super long-standing show, and I'm not saying that like MasterChef, but even when it comes to, I guess I don't see it as much on Survivor, though I'm pretty confident a lot of those people are,
no.
they're from their producers put people in there. I don't think they put them in there with the intention that these people are going home on this day and you're going to do this to cause confusion type of deal. No, but I do know that there are like more auditions and in order to get diverse casts. Like that's been out there and basically.
I mean, yeah, you have to fill it with the right personality types to get a good show out of it, for sure.
Right.
Like, I mean, I feel like there's like fucking scientists basically deciding who's going to be on these shows to some degree, the good ones at least, because you need that formula.
Yeah, but I highly do believe that on a lot of these shows, when those ridiculous events happen, that those were all planned from the beginning to make sure a show gets ratings.
It might be. God, I've told you about the show Kid Nation before, right?
Yeah, the one where they put on. I still haven't seen it yet, but I want to.
See, now that one I feel like definitely wasn't this thing. I mean, okay, so like the kid that actually won it was like one of the producers' kids or something.
Oh, that's interesting.
And there was like lawsuits after. There was a lot of legal trouble that followed this show after the fact.
Besides all the children like almost dying.
Yeah, I mean, and that to me they make great television.
That is one thing I really like about the old Survivors versus the new Survivors is when the whole thing was pretty much about them not able to eat and drink, and like you could just watch how worn down and destroyed they were.
You knew that that old shit was real. I mean,
yeah,
fucking dude, face got burned off.
Yeah, that was they didn't show much of that, so people could still argue that was like not. I don't believe that was not. I believe that fully.
I mean, when he came out of the water, you saw his skin dangling from his hands.
Yes. But yeah, there was definitely the season early on. I don't remember which one it was, but the one where they used to allow you to bring a personal item, and that dude brought like the 10-foot flag or whatever.
Yeah, I think that was Africa, wasn't it, or something like it was somewhere in the desert, right? I think that was the season where their whole camp burned down while they were tribal too.
It might be. But I remember that one, they were in such dire straits that Jeff randomly went out to their camp and was like, look, I will give you another bag of rice and water, but you have to give me everything and start over because you're basically going to die if I don't give you this food. And I was like, oh, this is the show I want to be on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot different now. Or at least it's either a lot different or they just don't show it anymore. And I'm pretty confident it's just a lot different. I'm sure that, like, OSHA and things like that have gotten involved, though. That's not necessarily their fault. But they probably just can't get away with the shit that they used to be able to get away with.
Yeah, I think there's definitely some of that.
What was that one by Bear Grylls?
The one where he drinks all his pee? Oh, no, the actual survival show. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I can't remember what that's called.
Or multiple people got like airlifted out.
Yeah, there was like lots of broken legs and stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I didn't think that show was.
No, the show was terrible. It was so boring.
Yeah, I was gonna say the show was quite terrible. I think it could have been good. It just.
That's what's so weird about it. It's like, there's so much stuff happening, and then it wasn't any good.
I'm assuming you're selling stuff, and that's how we're getting money.
I sold some stuff. I sold our soybeans. I'm about to sell our wool. How many sheep do we actually have now?
38, I think.
39.
39.
They're down to almost 1 sheep a day now.
Is that what it is? Sheep a day?
Almost.
Did we find out if there was a limit on how?
We did not. We actually spent more money on some sheep, I think, last time we played. I think we did. I think I did.
I think it was a couple times ago. But... yeah, because we only originally had bought 10, right?
Yeah. Yeah, most of those are actually from just sheep sex.
The sheep sex have a name.
Isn't that how syphilis started?
From sheep?
That's what I've always been told. I don't know if that's true or not. I thought you might know as a medical professional.
I do not. I know that the rumors about HIV starting from
Monkeys.
human and monkey fucking, but then I think they've disproven that or something like that now.
Okay. Yeah, I've always been told that syphilis originated from sheep sex.
I've never heard that before. Did it then pass to humans through human sheep sex?
Well, I mean, that's how it originally started. Yeah, human and sheep intercourse, and then after that, now human and human.
So do sheep not get affected by syphilis, or do they just die? Nobody really cared.
I think that's probably what happens.
That they die. Nobody cares.
Yes.
What happens if you eat a sheep with syphilis?
You get mouth syphilis.
Is that true?
No.
Dr. Guude, please explain.
Saw a guy bailing in real life today. I want to get a picture, but there was someone behind me. Every time I see this stuff, I like want to stop and just get a picture of it.
Which baler did he have?
Well, I don't actually know. That was the thing. I was looking at him, trying to figure all that out, and it didn't look like anything we have. And again, there was a guy behind me, so I couldn't really like gawk too bad.
Was he baling grass?
That's the other thing too. It looked like hay to me, but I don't know. I also saw. I was taking my grandma back from physical therapy today, and we passed a guy cutting grass. She's like, "What's he doing? Cutting weeds?" And I'm like, "No, he's making the big bucks cutting grass."
And she was like, "What?"
Yeah, I don't think she had any idea what I was talking about.
I don't understand. Why? I guess cutting grass is actually a pretty decent job, though. There's all those like grass cutting companies. They must.
I spend a fortune getting my grass cut just because I'm too lazy to do it myself.
How much does it cost you to get your grass cut?
Well, my the office building in my other house, it's $100 a week, and then
They do it once a week.
Well, no, each week they cut it. They do it twice a month, and then my house here is $150.
Damn.
So I basically spend $250. So I spend like $500 a month on grass cutting. Actually, my grandma's been paying for the grass because, well, I guess that's my grandma's yard too because she lives next door. So it's both of our yards. It's the 150. And I paid for it for like 5 years, and so she's been paying. She complained about the person that cut the grass every fucking time they cut the grass, and to the point where I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna get rid of them, and you can find someone to do it. And so I did, and so she's been paying him since for like the last year.
I think if she likes this guy, or does she?
I don't know. Like I fucking hate this guy. I hate him. I like when I see him, I just look away. Like he's one of those people that wants to talk to you and just talk about shit you don't care about.
I hate people who talk.
Right, I do too. No, but like it's not just like
tongues removed.
Like, okay, for instance, like I had this garage. Like whenever this house was rented all these ages ago, there's a garage behind my house. And after I evicted the guy, when I wanted to actually live up here, he got real salty about this. I think I've told you about this guy before. And he like took out the support beams in the garage. And so when it snowed that winter, the garage collapsed in. And so this guy that's cutting my grass now, he used to cut it way back, and then I found someone else, and now he's back again, basically. But whenever I had the garage tore down a couple years ago, I had like a pile of stuff in front of the garage that was like to be put in storage, and like it sat there for probably like 3 weeks, and every fucking time he would cut the grass, he would like go through the stuff and then bring it around to the front of the house and be like, so how much can I get this for? And I was like, dude, this is not a yard sale. That was
Did you ever sell him stuff?
No. And like he always like the other grass cutting people, whenever they cut the grass, they would park like off of my driveway. But this guy always blocks my driveway completely, so I just cannot leave whenever he's cutting the grass, which it always happens to be right when I need to take my daughter somewhere or something. So you would think after like 6 months of this, he would fucking realize that not to park in my driveway, because my grandma has a driveway too that he could park in, where no one goes anywhere because no one is able to drive that lives there. So he parks my driveway, and every week I have to tell him to fucking move, so I can get out. And every week he tries to talk to me again, and it's just like, dude, I don't want to talk to you. Like the other day he came up to me and he's like, so, your Beetle, it's pretty fast, huh? I'm like, yeah, sure, it's good. How fast does it go? And I'm like, well, normally the speed limit. And he's like, oh, does it get there fast? And I'm like, yeah, at the rate that you can get there by the speed limit. I don't know.
Maybe he parks in your driveway because he knows he'll get to talk to you.
I hate him. I hate him so much.
I mean, because I can't imagine why else he would just continue to park in your driveway when, like... But maybe he's one of those people that I assume are plants on a reality show.
Yeah, no, this guy would be a perfect fucking guy for the reality show because he would just piss everyone off. And he's like, he's nice enough where most people would probably fucking like him at home. And like, these people are really mean to him. They shouldn't be so mean to him. But there's probably people sitting there watching our video right now like, Guude's an asshole. Just talk to him. He just wants to talk. Fuck this guy.
And you have all the time in the world.
Right. I just should take some more time out for this guy.
Yeah. I mean, of course. That's exactly what it should be. It's all about, treating your fellow man with respect, no matter if you feel disrespected by him or not.
I don't even remember what I was going to... Oh, so what I was going to originally talk about was I have this little garden in my front yard. It's not like a vegetable garden or anything. I'd have some herbs in it. But like they tore down this old building in town. It was a brick building. And so there was like just piles and piles of bricks just sitting around that they were going to throw away. And so I went and got enough bricks to make this big circle out of. And these people that have been cutting my grass for like 3 years. No problems. The first fucking time he cuts my grass, he basically destroys half my bricks by running them over, and they're like shattered and everywhere. And I complain about it, and my grandma was like,
"Didn't say anything to you?"
No, there's fucking yard full of brick fragments, and so I complained to my grandma about it, and she's like, "It probably wasn't him. It was probably the other people, and they did it before he got there." And it's like, no, it happened right. What? No.
You're like, I didn't have these bricks yet.
Just pissed me off. And
so did you complain to this guy about it?
Well, yeah, I told him, I was like, listen, you destroyed my bricks. And he's like, no, I don't run over the bricks. And it's like, but you did. And so since then, he just doesn't cut around my garden. Like, there's just grass. Like, I have to go out there and fucking weed eat myself around the garden because... And that's the thing, too. It's like, you got a fucking weed eater. You don't have to drive your giant fucking lawnmower everywhere. You could weed eat some places, you lazy fuck.
What is weed eating?
What?
What is weed eating?
Don't troll me.
I'm not trolling you.
You don't know what a weed eater is?
No.
Have you always? No, you are a liar. You know what a weed eater is.
You are using a crazy slang term that most people don't know for a weed whacker.
Weed whacker?
Yes.
No.
I'm pretty confident that weed whacker is the accepted term of what you're talking about. Is it something you put basically what looks like fishing line into?
Yes, that's a weed eater.
Yeah, it's a weed whacker.
No, fucking no,
Eater,
absolutely not. Hold on. I'm fucking good. Is it a...
Careful with looking up other things, remember?
No, I'm using my phone. Is it a weed? Is it a weed? Smoke it.
Is it a weed? That'll be a next website I'll make. You send me pictures and just say, is it a weed? And I have a random response.
Oh, this fucking... It get auto-completed. Is it a weed eater or a weed whacker? Weed eater versus weed whacker discussion. What do you call it? All right, here we go. What is the correct term for the device used to trim weeds and... Hold on, I gotta get this worker going before we get into this very important discussion.
I've never heard it called a weed eater in my life. And you've never heard it called a weed whacker in your life.
Mm-mm. This is the whole sit versus stand shit all over again. All right. What's the correct term for the device that is used to trim weeds and grasses? This spurred a conversation with my brother-in-law, who calls it a weed whip, which I've never heard before. He's from Michigan, which made me think, is the term that this machine determined by where you grew up or learned its existence? And what are these locations if this is the case? What the fuck is this guy doing every time with this fucking field?
He's weed whacking.
Yeah, he is. Son of a bitch. I hate him. I gotta finish this field manually, just because this guy's an idiot. Alright. Let me get this going and continue reading here.
Hold on. I'm so, like, intrigued by what this website says.
See, I've always known it as a weed whacker, and I grew up in South Florida. But I've heard of weed eater, but never weed whip, which he contends is the term. What do you call this thing? Weed whip or something entirely different? Now, this is the first response is weed smoker.
What? Is this a troll forum?
This is Reddit. It's just a Reddit thread.
So yes.
Yeah.
So yes, it is.
I don't know, man. Like, just smoke it. I've only ever heard of weed eaters before, though I couldn't tell you which one to look like. I say weed whacker. It doesn't eat them. Or technically whip them. Weed whip just sounds stupid. It whacks the fucking shit out of them.
I agree with that guy.
Oh, you would? Alright, hold on. String trimmer on Wikipedia. Let's pull this shit up.
String trimmer. I guess that would be a generic term for it.
Right.
I wonder if weed whacker or weed eater was ever once upon a time a brand name.
Weed eater is a brand. That was my argument was going to be against you. Was I know for a fact weed eater is a brand, and that's why I've always called it a weed eater.
I mean, it's like calling it a Kleenex when it's really a tissue.
Yeah, weed eater brand. Yeah, okay. So string trimmer, weed eater. The link weed eater redirects here for American heavy metal group. See weed eater band.
Yes, it's definitely the brand name of the band weed eater.
A string trimmer is also called a weed whip, a whippersnipper, a weed whacker, a weed eater, a line trimmer in Australia, or a strimmer in the UK and Ireland.
A strimmer?
Yep.
I guess they just combine this shit to make it easier. Fuck those weed eaters and weed whackers. Let's call it a strimmer.
Let's see the history. It was invented in the 70s.
I mean, I believe that.
The first trimmer was made by attaching pieces of heavy-duty fishing line to a popcorn can bolted to an edger. And he called it weed eater since it chewed up grass and weeds around trees. All right. This is basically the whole GIF versus GIF. The creator called it a weed eater. But I guess you can call it a weed whacker because GIF is better.
I'm kind of surprised that the first guy who ever invented one of these called it a weed eater, and I've never heard that term before. And it also surprises me that you've never heard the term weed whacker before.
Well, this is the
I
world
wonder
we
if
live in.
it has turned into one of those things of where you've like been born and raised on what is just generally called in that geographical location.
Right.
It's like the whole soda versus pop.
And I've known people that just call it Coke, no matter what kind of Coke you want. Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, that's just dumb.
It is just dumb. Well, oh man, I had one and then I forgot what the fuck I was going to say. Oh yeah, toboggan. What's a toboggan to you?
A toboggan? It's a toboggan.
Okay.
Not a toboggan.
Okay, well, what's a toboggan to you?
It's like a sled?
See?
I mean,
where I live, it's a fucking hat. And I've had this discussion with other people. Not everyone has a hat. Toboggan.
Okay. This is. Haven't you ever heard the Polish joke of why are all Polish names end in ski?
No.
It's because toboggan's too long.
I've never ever heard that.
It's like,
and as a Polish person, you would think I would have, but
that just also makes you like understand that toboggan a hat.
Yeah.
Who wears a sled on their head?
Nobody wears a sled on their head. A toboggan is a hat.
So I'll tell you,
It's not any hat though. It's
as a ski patroller, we get people off of the hill on a toboggan, and you have to take toboggan training and be toboggan certified to be able to do that on a skis or on a snowboard. So it is nationally out there, at least in the ski patrol realm, a toboggan's definitely not a hat. Because taking hat training wouldn't really make much sense.
You might need hat training. Depends on what your job is.
You might. I can't imagine how it'd help you get that guy off the hill, but I guess if you need a certification in something. A toboggan, is that? What kind of hat is it?
Like the hats that like that. It's a toboggan.
Are they winter hats?
Yes, they're winter hats.
Do they have the ears? And
no, no. It's just a toboggan.
That's a great description.
I know, that's the thing. I don't know about any other words. So I don't know what else to tell you. Like
What's it look like?
A ski hat? Like, okay, you know the things that people make ski masks out of? But if it doesn't have holes, it's now a toboggan.
It's just one that goes on your head?
Yeah.
Like a normal knit cap.
Yes.
That people wear in the winter.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I've only ever heard it called like a hat or a beanie.
Well, beanies are different.
Yeah, and I don't like I think the term beanie has been, I don't even know what it was originally supposed to be, but I think it's very much overused now for basically anything you can put on your head, people call it a beanie, which I think is dumb, but a toboggan. Yeah,
That's always been, that's what I've always heard it called forever.
Well, what about, so what do you call the machine that you use in the winter that goes across the snow, but it's a machine?
A snow sled?
I mean, I'm wondering if that's a term to you. I was thinking like the typical terminology of snowmobile.
Oh, yeah, snowmobile. Yeah, okay. Yeah, snowmobile.
I guess in Alaska, they call them snow machines. And I watch a lot of Buying Alaska, too, because I think Alaska's like an amazing, like, looking place. I'd love to live there one day. And they kept calling these things, like, people always wanted room for their snow machines. And I was like, what makes a snow machine different than a snowmobile? Like, why do they keep calling it that? So I looked it up, and it just turns out that apparently in Alaska, for some reason, they just called it a snow machine.
Huh.
And I'm like, that's weird. I mean, I don't know why they just do it something different. I don't know if it came over from, because Alaska's not really part of America, you know.
Well, it may not be much longer at all, according to what I was reading in the news earlier today.
Oh, God, what?
Yeah, so they didn't vote with the repeal of the Health Care Act, so the White House informed them that they might just get rid of them.
Oh, bullshit.
I swear to God, go look at the news.
Are you kidding me?
Nope. Yeah.
How childish can one person be?
Listen. Maybe they'll just give it back to Russia.
But why would you ever do that? Especially for one with all the oil in there. Like, and anything that we have our footprint on, doesn't America kind of want to acquire anything it can? Doesn't it make you like more of a superpower if you just have more land?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if the land that you own is not following in line, do you really need it?
I mean, according to a specific person right now, but I'm just saying in general. Like, in general, wouldn't a country want to?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that a big problem over in oh my God. What was that nation over that Russia was just fighting for?
Crimea?
Yeah, Crimea. Yeah, that one. I don't even remember how to say it already. Crimea? Chimera? How do you say it again?
Crimea. Yeah, it's Crimea.
Crimea. Okay. I have a problem saying it. I don't know why. It's an easy word. I just don't say it well. But like, you know, Russia wants that back because don't they just want more stuff?
Right. Sure. Yeah. Everyone wants more stuff, really.
Well, yeah, but not America, apparently. They want to get rid of, like, a fifth of our land holdings. Alaska is fucking huge.
You know, I wouldn't miss it. Maybe we'll just get Puerto Rico instead.
We own Puerto Rico already, don't we?
But it's not a state.
I mean, no. Is Puerto Rico one of them? Yeah, Puerto Rico is one of them, right?
It's not a state.
There's Guam, the Virgin Islands. Those are territories.
Yeah, so is Puerto Rico.
Okay, I couldn't remember off the top of my head what Puerto Rico actually was. I mean, would you want to actually get rid of Alaska or just make it not a state?
I'm just kidding. I don't. I mean, I don't think I'll ever go to Alaska.
I want to.
It looks
I'd love
cold.
to go to Alaska. You know, fun fact of trivia for Alaska is it is the northernmost state, the westernmost state, and the easternmost state in the United States.
What?
It crosses the international date line.
Uh,
So it makes it like it's trivia. Like you can get asked that at a trivia contest. So if anybody wins trivia because of my answer right there, send the prize to me. If the prize is a free drink, just do it in a leak-proof container. I've spent this whole episode saying I was going to do something different, and I've done the exact
so you haven't
same
done nothing different, you liar.
Nope.
What's this to do?
I don't know. I just forgot how long it takes because the mowing doesn't take that long. I forgot how long it actually takes to bale.
Yeah.
I mean, off camera, I got all the guys set up and planting fields, but that was more running around to let them do things.
Yeah, I've done all that. Well, you've been doing the same old.
So you've gotten us up to a positive number.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think we have much of anything in the silo though.
But we have all this
All that grass.
all that grass to sell now. Our money crop. Oh boy. Oh boy. There you go. Whew. Man, I just ran over a bale, got all screwed up, got it to come off of my tractor and line back up, and then the bale literally rolled back in front of me in my path. Fucking bale.
I really hate this one field we bought down here that just doesn't act right with the workers.
The one that's by the railroad tracks over there.
Yeah.
It's on the wrong side of the tracks, man. We should have known better.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely right.
Should have been like anything across these tracks. It's bad news. Apparently missed a strip in the middle of this field. I'm back doing again. Okay, so what are we building up money for?
I mean, I want to buy that bigger planter that also fertilizes, but other than that, I don't actually know.
The $1 million field,
I mean, yeah, kinda.
some windmills.
That's the $1 million windmill, right?
Yeah, it's either the windmill or the solar generator. I can't remember which one.
Yeah, I think it's $1 million. Where is the planter? It's over here, isn't it? Better tractors, more of them, I guess.
Just tractors, tractors, tractors. We'll have a demolition derby. Ah, there we go. Job's done. I can get this thing filled up one more time with these scrapings. Oh yeah, there's a whole chunk right here. I'm sure you get a count of
Like
what was
Dracula?
just. A what?
I said like Dracula?
Yes, I want one of him of my very own.
What did you mean, though?
A count of all the bales that are sitting on the ground.
Oh, I can't. I see.
I just want to know how many are here. Which field are you working on right now?
All right, I've planted and fertilized the one next to the barn. The one above is planting. Both the ones down below have been cultivated and are now planting.
Oh, are you gonna pick them up?
Oh, you can.
That's okay. You can do it. I'll finally get free of that field for a minute. What do we got in our silos? So we still got a big chunk of corn.
How much is in there?
Oh, actually, it's still on sale right now at Gomez Acres. 76,000.
Oh, jeez. Wow, I didn't realize
It's only-
much corn.
It's only $887. I mean, it's not like it's
Still, it'll add up.
much, but yeah, I'll go take a load of this stuff over there. Yeah, we talked about at one point still buying that bigger tipper, but
I guess we could check out the 18 wheelers at some point here too. Oh, we need to fertilize this grass field. Fertilized.
somebody told me I need to make sure I start taking the truck and not the tractors when I go take loads of stuff. And it was for a very interesting reason too. They were like, because I was wasting too much fuel.
Okay. I mean, they're probably German and real efficient.
I said they're probably accurate, but
I mean, yeah, they're probably right, but it's really
can't
not that
imagine
big
it's
of a
that
difference.
much fuel. But I'm assuming that's somebody who plays this game and
Right.
knows like the
Yeah,
fuel consumption
yeah, I'm sure they're
rates,
right.
but
We're not the most efficient. I'm sure there's lots of things we could do to.
definitely not. We could buy another tipper and just take two of them at once.
Oh yeah, always forget about that too. We're out of time too, so we'll have to think about things another day.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.